Alice Waters is with me this morning on Life Matters. Really, she is the founder of the slow food movement with the beginnings of her restaurant in Berkley, California in 1971, Chez Panisse. You acknowledge the rise of the fast food culture, quick turnaround food, packaged, chopped up, pre-chopped vegetables, packets of spinach, it's all here too. And yet there's also a rising interest in farmers markets and slow food culture. And I just wonder whether, though, there's a class divide going on, that there's a distinction between the elite and the everyday in that contrasting growth in both of those cultures.
Well, I certainly think that the fast food culture is trying to make us believe that it's about that we're in an elitist movement and they are with the people. They are producing something that's fast, cheap, and easy, and that's what people want. They don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. They want to get on with the good things in life. It's a real cultural takeover. I have come to understand the words of Brillat Savarin way back when he said, we are what we eat. The destiny of the nation depends on how we nourish ourselves. And when we eat fast food, we absorb the values of it. We're there eating in a minute, where we don't care where the food came from. We want it the same 24/7. We throw away the waste. Somebody else will clean it up for you.
You've said that good food is a right, not a privilege, and that's a contentious statement because also attached to good food is often a big price.
It is, but I think food can be affordable. But when it's cheap, somebody's missing out. And the person who's missing out, 9 out of 10 times, is the farmer. So I think we can cook affordable food. And it's important to think about the money that we make and the proportion of that goes to food and the purchasing of food. It's something so precious. We always have been willing to pay for it. But now other things are much more valuable because we've been indoctrinated.
Stuff.
Stuff. We're out to buy stuff. And
store it.
And store it. We have big
the
storage
irony,
units
the great
now.
irony.
It's kind of craziness that we're doing this, accumulating. And the only way that I can think to really resist it with pleasure is to go to that farmer's market, meet the people who are growing the food, buying that food and taking it home and eating it when it's alive and delicious. I'm for winning people over through taste and through the camaraderie of the table.
It's a great sensory seduction, isn't it? Flavour. Let's leave the pantry for a moment and head to the classroom because you have managed to get the Edible School Garden program not just into the vacant lots of next to schools as it started for you. You've actually managed to get it into the curriculum, maths, English. Why?
Well, when I first went to the school in Berkley, Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, I looked at the land that they had that was available. I know the principal wanted me to plant a garden. That's what he wanted. But when I walked around the school, I just said, oh, my goodness, I don't want to just have a garden. I think there needs to be a connection to the food service. And then I had the idea that, you really needed to go from the garden to the kitchen, back to the garden again, and take all of the subjects, the academic subjects, and connect them to these labs, if you will.
How? Give us an example of how that works. Because, of course, again, and look, you've received criticism for this too, that somehow you've hijacked the mainstream curriculum when that is vital and might be costing the education of the most vulnerable children who are there. They want to learn reading, writing, arithmetic. They don't need to learn how to garden, thank you very much, at school.
Well, certainly that criticism has been present, but when you come and see what's happening, first of all, interactive education, everyone knows that that is the best way to engage children to really learn in a deep way. Whether it is a math class that you do in small groups with kids moving beads on a string, the fact that they're using their hands, their eyes, they're using all their senses to be thinking about the subject. And I'm saying that you're going into the garden and you are measuring those beds as part of the math class. You are calculating the seeds that you are planting. And you're eating a raspberry from the raspberry bush at the same time. And these kids like to be out in the garden doing their math.
Maths classes never sounded so good.
In the kitchen doing their history class. And they may be studying sort of Egypt, but they are preparing at the same time the food of that place. They're making pita bread, and they're talking about the grains that were grown in that part of the world. They're looking at the map. They're thinking about the nutrition of that place. They're writing the recipes down as part of an English composition class, but it comes alive for them. And they never forget it, but they never forget how to make the pita bread either.
Thank you, Alice Waters.
Thank you.